Over the next several hours, we search the cabin from top to bottom. I hobble around the ground floor, careful not to look out the window, even when the drumming starts up, again at a few points. I check all the shelves under the chairs and tables and the stove in the pantry. Between the cracks in the floor and the walls, we don't find anything. At some point, I almost topple over from dozing off, and that's when we call off the search. There's been some discussion as to where we should sleep, if we should do it in shifts. Jenna suggests we stay up downstairs while the rest of us sleep, just in case something happens. Carl suggests that I sleep in the bed upstairs because of my leg, and I have to agree with him. Raven stays downstairs with Jenna, making himself comfortable in one of the chairs. As Carl hobbles up the stairs with me on his back, Jenna watches us the whole way. I sit on the bed, watching as Carl moves about the room, looking behind shelves and under the bed. Carl, I hate to ask again, but are you okay?
Hmm?
He looks back at me.
Yeah, I'm fine. I just want to make sure everything is safe for you.
Thanks. It's just you seem different, I guess. Carl looks at the ceiling, seemingly thinking. It's difficult to make him out in the darkness. Just like when he had the sheet over his head. I get the weird feeling that who I'm looking at might not be Carl.
I think it's just that this has made me grow up. I realize now how useless I've been. This is sort of an opportunity for me to actually do something. Help people, you know?
Yeah, it sounds nice, but I can't get rid of the nagging feeling that something is off. It's in the way he talks, the way he moves, right down to his facial expressions. I swing my legs gingerly into the bed and lay back. Carl comes over to sit on the other side. You gonna sleep here too?
Yeah. You need me to get around, so I'm gonna be by your side as much as possible.
All right, thanks. That sounded really resigned, like, all right. Oh, man.
Jeez, gosh, gotta
Oh,
hang around with this guy.
oh, man.
Ugh.
This fucking guy, he's gonna throw a sheet over his head again and start mumbling to himself. Scare the
Oh,
shit out of me.
yeah. Like the monks
Mm.
from Monty Python. Beat myself
You
again.
know,
Get a book against my
and
head.
then I'm gonna look at the other side of the bed and I'm gonna see some, like, coyote fox lady with, like, a fucking sheet over her head, too. And then at the foot of the bed will just be some friggin' husky who's just sitting there. Oh. Then I'll realize that's not me. That I'm not looking out of my own eyes because at the head of the bed is a otter with a sheet over. Okay, all right.
Four corners of sheeted people.
All
The cult of
right,
sheeted people.
all right. Thanks. As we lay awkwardly on our backs for a moment, Carl suddenly turns on his side and pulls me into his chest. Surprised and turn instinctively so that he's spooning me. I guess it makes sense after our semi-confession back in the mansion. He nuzzles my neck, but again, the action is weirdly unnatural. Even with his big warm body next to mine, it takes me a long time to fall asleep. That's when I feel something.
In my
A
butt.
surprise. I open my eyes and blearily I can make out the dark cabin room. My heart sinks again at realizing where I'm at, but it's more subdued this time. Guess I'm getting used to my new life. My mouth is dry, very dry. I feel like I need to find water, or I'm not going back to sleep.
I'm not gonna make it.
I'm not gonna make it. I sit up. Carl's moved back to his side of the bed at this point, lying out over on his back, snoring. Quietly, I get out of bed, wincing at how creaky the floorboards are. I make my way down the stairs, eyes adjusted to the point where I can barely make out the ledges. When I reach ground level, I see that Raven is splayed out on the carpet, snoring as well. I shake my head before moving to the kitchen. Jenna isn't there, and I wonder. Jenna isn't there, and I wonder where she might be at. Was she in that other room upstairs? Maybe I just missed her when I was distracted by Raven. Looking around, I see a small cup sitting on the table. I'm almost positive it hasn't been there before, but maybe Raven or Jenna had set it there. Walking over to it, I'm relieved to see that it's filled with what looks like water. I pick it up and sniff at it, not really getting a hint of anything. Tentatively, I take a sip and immediately spit it out. It's piss. Damn it, Jenna! Damn it, Raven! It's salty, putrid. It tastes like. I jump and some of the liquid splashes to the floor. Gingerly, I set down the cup, looking to the opposite room. Everything is still in the other room, but I can't hear Raven snoring anymore. This time I see the wardrobe move, the door specifically. I stare wide-eyed. Everything falls still again, but I don't dare move. Jenna? I whisper loudly. Jenna.
Jenna.
It. Oh, oh, oh. It wouldn't make any sense why she'd be in there, but who else would it be? Ghosts, of course. I'm about to take a step forward towards the stairs, maybe, or to at least wake Raven up, but that's when the small door cracks open. I freeze, all the fur on my body standing up. James? The words die on my tongue as something long and black slides out from behind the door. It drips down towards the ground, and only then does it vaguely take the shape of a foot. Another long black tendril follows, slightly ahead of the first one. When it touches the ground, it takes the shape of a hand, resting flat on the wooden floor. I choke and start to try to back away, but then the door explodes open and I'm just barely able to make out a galloping black shape before it engulfs me. I collapse back onto the ground, twisting and trying to scream, but the thing is completely covering and smothering me. I choke and gag, feeling like I'm being suffocated, my arms pinned to my sides, my legs rigid. As I try to yank away from the thing, it feels like something is freed from my mouth, and I'm able to scream. Help! Get it off me! Help!
Chase!
The surface underneath me becomes soft, the thing on top of me warm. Through bleary eyes, I look up at Carl, just able to make out the curve of his horns. Carl? I hear movement at the doorway, and I glance in that direction to find Jenna standing there, hackles raised, teeth bared. Jenna? Before I know exactly what's going on, Jenna sprints across the room and jumps on the bed. Carl doesn't even have time to turn around before she snatches him up by the horns and yanks his head back violently. The ram lets out a choking sound as he's dragged back and thrown to the floor. Jenna jumps off the bed after him. The sound of it, she lands on him. What follows is a series of thuds and smacks. Weakly, I pull myself to the foot of the bed, still completely disoriented. I knew it, you motherfucking piece of shit! What I see is Jenna sitting on Carl's back, swinging her fists into his head while the ram tries to cover up. You haven't changed at all! Jenna, stop! I roll on. I roll of the bed.
I roll off the bed. The whole bed just rolls
Yep,
with him.
yep, of the bed. Confused as to why I'm so weak. Pain shoots up my leg again, but this time I barely notice it. There's something around Jenna, something big and black like a shadow, making her look much bigger than she actually is. Her fists swing and hit Carl with a force I didn't think she was capable of. Then she grabs Carl by the horns again and he yanks back before slamming his face into the floor. Jenna! I lunge forward and try to put myself between the two of them. Underneath me, Carl has gone limp. Just like Jenna. Just like Jenna, there's something black and shadowy moving around him as well. But it's fading, moving away. Jenna's still trying to get at Carl, reaching around me, snarling in my ear, a sound that makes my fur stand on end. Then she's gone. I look to my left and see Jenna being drawn back by Raven, his eyes wide with shock.
What are you doing?
Jenna struggles with the struggles in the husky's grasp. I saw him. He was trying to fuck the otter. The otter? Jenna, stop! He was helping me. Raven continues to try and pull Jenna towards the door, but she continues to struggle. I was having a nightmare. Jenna's struggling loses some of its vigor, but she continues to snarl in Carl's direction. Raven, please, get her out of here. The shadow around Jenna seems to shrink, and her face shows some doubt as she stares at the crumpled form of Carl. After a moment, she seems to let the husky lead her from the room, and I hear soothing tones from Raven as he leads her down the stairs. I turn back to Carl, who has his arms around his head, face still buried in the ground. After a while, I see his shoulders heaving with sobs. Gently, I pull one of his arms back, and he looks up at me. This time I recognize his face.
All the blood. Black eye.
I sit next to Carl on the bed, mopping up his face with his bloodied button-up shirt. He sits there silently, looking at his hands while I work. At least nothing's broken.
Dude. What happened?
I'm not sure if he's talking about what happened with Jenna or just everything. I've been asking that same question since we got here. He looks at his hands again.
I felt different.
I sit back and look him over, satisfied with having cleaned up most of his face. You were acting different too.
Like, I felt like I knew everything. I knew what I was doing.
You were acting really confident. I agree, and set his bloodied shirt off to the side. When I look back at him, I see he seems so sad and beaten down that I have to hug him.
Dude, you're gonna make me start crying again.
His voice cracks, but he hugs back anyway. I'm just glad you're back. I felt like I was talking to a stranger. Carl leans against me and sighs.
I don't know if I'm glad, though. It's like I just came down from a huge high.
I rub his shoulder for a while before I venture forward with my guess. Was it James?
I don't know. Maybe?
Carl looks at his hands again, like he's questioning if they're even his.
I just felt like I knew what I wanted. And when things didn't go the way I thought they would, I'd get really pissed.
He's silent for a while, I imagine contemplating what he'd just gone through. Jenna isn't really acting like herself either. Carl looks up at that.
Yeah, I felt like whatever was in me, whatever it is, really hates what Jenna's doing for some reason.
Carl looks around the room. Carl looks around at the room, scanning it with his dark green eyes.
I feel like all of this is some kind of mental fight between James and whatever else is fighting against him.
He looks back down at his hands.
That's why we have to do all of this.
He falls back into silence, and I don't ask any more questions, wanting to let him rest a bit. There's one nagging thought there that comes to my mind, though. This is kind of stupid, but what happened back in the mansion? You know, that thing between us. He looks up at me, and I feel my face flush, looking away. I guess I'm wondering if any of that was real. I mean, if it was really you feeling that way. Carl doesn't say anything, so I'm forced to look up at him. When I do, he has a sad sort of smile on his face.
Dude, I think that was the only part of me that was real.
Despite where we are, despite everything that's happening, that somehow makes me incredibly happy. Happy enough to lean forward and kiss him. He kisses back, and well, it's barely more than a peck. It has my entire body feeling warm. He puts his arm around me, and after I pull back, and I rest my head on his shoulder.
You probably have a coppery taste in your mouth right now.
Yeah, with all the blood.
I feel like it's gonna try to come back, though.
I look at him. What, James?
Whatever it is, I can already feel it. Like it's on the edge of my mind.
Do you ever do you think you can fight it? Carl sighs, then looks at me.
Should I?
What do you mean?
I mean, it made me feel amazing. Like I could do anything. Maybe we need that.
I frown. I don't know.
Not only that, but I felt like I knew what to do. It might save us.
Stares back into my eyes.
I know it's not really me, but it'll probably only be for the time that we're here.
I look away, thinking.
Then I'll be back to my old self.
He squeezes my shoulder.
But it's important to me what you think. We're in this together, baby. So, should we tell him to fight whatever this is? Or should we encourage him to let it help us? Because it seems like he's kind of on the side of letting it help.
I mean, we can let it help us. It doesn't necessarily seem hostile to us. It
Yeah.
seems to be trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, it could help. Yeah, it could definitely help if Carl's feeling more confident. Plus, it could be a model of what's going to help Carl,
Yeah.
lead the rest of his life. If he's had problems feeling, underconfident and kind of defeated for so long, maybe he does need to have that kind of boost. But then again, wouldn't it be better for him to develop that for himself? But
It could. I mean, either. I mean, the whole thing is he needs to figure some way to help himself develop these things.
Mm-hmm.
In this situation, they really don't know what to do, and they kind of need something to sort of help them figure out how to get the hell out of here.
There's also
But
the point that Chase said earlier: if James tells him to do anything, just say so, and he'll do it. So he's kind of in that regard. He's also saying, "Let's get James to help us."
yeah,
So I kind
just
of
do they know if this is actually James or not?
yeah, that's true. It seems like whatever this is, it seems to be benevolent, not malicious.
Yeah, benevolent, not malevolent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we need to find out what's going on with Jenna too, because I think she's possessed in her own way as well.
Yeah, there was like that dark shadow over her that was getting her
Yeah,
to attack. And I think whatever it is that's possessing Jenna has her wanting to attack Carl.
I mean it's very obviously his James's lover.
Yeah, James or John.
John, I
John.
think. Yeah,
John
it's very
Begay.
obviously John. So
John
I think
Begay. Begay.
I think the whole pattern is ancestors can possess descendants, but they can't just go and possess anyone willy nilly.
Yeah, it seems that way. Well, in this
So
story, at least.
yeah, so it's possible that if we let this thing help, that they'll be able to find some sort of closure with each other, and then that will lead to them getting out of here.
Yeah, which I kind
But
of like. So
yeah,
I say let
the
it help
other
us.
thing, the other thing is that if they fight it, it could be that uh, John starts trying to no, James starts trying to force his way, and then bad stuff starts to happen. But Carl thinks that James wants to help him, and he thinks that this thing wants to help him, and perhaps Carl can, as you pointed out, see that as modeling and basically be like, okay, this is what life is supposed to be like. You're
Yeah.
confidently doing things, not terrified of your own shadow and needing to hide forever. So yeah, let's go with let it help us.
Yeah. Boink.
Well, I don't exactly like the idea of whatever it is changing Carl. Whatever it is changing Carl influencing him, it might be our only choice. I think I think you should probably let it.
Yeah.
Carl looks at me and I can tell he's a little surprised. Maybe it's basically trying to help us, right? And if it's James, he knows exactly what we need to do.
Yeah.
Carl sounds a little reluctant, but I can tell he's starting to agree with me. And it'll only be for the time that we're here. He just wants to show us his story, then we can get out. I don't mention that a more confident Carl will make everything easier as well. I just had to make sure that he and Jenna were carefully kept separate. Either way, we are in this together. I'll make sure things don't get out of hand between you and it. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but we
Hopefully
sit there for a
they don't
while.
become gay lovers.
Oh.
I love my ancestor. My ancestor loves me.
Well, his ancestor is inside of it.
Already halfway
Oh
there.
no!
Oh, you're
What is it
halfway
like?
there.
Echoes in Alabama, right?
Al Echo? Echo Bama?
We sit there for a while, Carl absorbing what I had just said.
You hear that
It's
banjo?
clear that it's clear that whatever is influencing Carl and probably Jenna is powerful, and we had to be careful. Whatever he decides, I just pray that it's the right decision. I wake up groggily, my head throbbing a bit from laying on the stiff pillow. Like the last time I woke up, it takes me a while to realize where I am. And just like last time, I get a sinking feeling in my stomach when I realize where that is. I lay on my side, staring at the wall in front of me, watching shadows dance along the log bumps. It's pressing, though not as much as the last time. At some point, guess I realized that there wasn't much I could do. Just go with it and hope something comes of it. At least there's. You're breathing on your microphone, by the way.
Is that better?
I think so. At least there seemed to be a goal in the mind of whatever had control of this, whatever it was. Suddenly, I feel an arm slide over my hip and I stiffen. Carl breathes into the back of my neck.
What's up?
I shiver as he breathes against my neck. Nothing, just thinking.
About?
A bunch of things. Carl suddenly squeezes my ass hard. I yelp and jump as he chuckles. Dude, what the hell? I whisper, trying to keep my voice down for fear of Raven and Jenna hearing. Especially Jenna. She'll jump in here and beat the fuck out of Carl again.
I don't know if they have a third sprite. This is him even more beat up.
It's just Jenna, but like she's just the Doomslayer for some reason.
She's got the sword. She's got like this shield around her, and just like this armor.
Carl doesn't say anything, choosing to nuzzle the fur on the back of my neck while he grinds his hips against me. I guess it's okay if we sorta made things official last night. Still, his behavior feels like it's coming out of nowhere. Are you okay, James? Are you just really horny after not getting laid for like
Centuries.
decades upon decades upon decades? He chuckles.
Yeah, just really confident right now. Yeah, everything's fine now that I've got your tight butt here in front of me.
I turn my head and squint back at him. Are you acting like this because of James or because you're just trying to be more confident?
There's a confident.
Carl just gazes back at me with half-lidded eyes before he starts waggling his brows. I turn away again and lay my head on the pillow.
Assuming
Well,
the position.
well, I think you're trying too hard. Just let it come natural. Ah! Carl drives in again and starts nuzzling my neck, running his hands over my body. I writhe and try not to laugh, but it's no use, and soon I'm letting out full-on guffaws. Wait, stop! He doesn't let up, though. And it's not until we hear voices drifting up from downstairs that we do stop. It sounds like Raven, but I'm pretty sure he's talking to Jenna. I roll on my back in Carl's arms, and turn my head to him. We gotta keep it down. Mom's downstairs. She'll beat the shit out of you.
Hey.
I'm reminded of our situation when I see some flakes of blood around Carl's nose and the big splotches on his shirt.
Yeah, you just hear Raven's voice. Don't kill them. Put the knife down. Put the knife down.
Please, please.
Please, don't go crazy. Don't point it at me. No. Murder Fox.
Yeah,
Murder Fox.
Jenna just turns. She's like, "I'm going to fuck you."
You start hearing the music from the Bates Motel movie, Psycho.
Yeah.
I guess we're being a little loud.
Yeah. How's your nose? Carl automatically raises a hand to touch his nose.
Nah, I'm fine.
Classic millennial. All right. I lay there in silence for a few seconds, feeling like the moment is kind of ruined. I look again at the wall, remembering that we should be looking for something instead of messing around like this.
Looking for something? I can look in you.
Not sure. Hey, we should be finding something, right?
Hmm?
Carl lazily starts drawing circles on my chest with a finger. I mean, didn't that ghost ancestor, whatever it was, tell you we needed to find stuff? Carl rubs his nose.
Yeah. In the last place we were in, at least.
I guess it would be the same for this place, right? Unless it was what we already burned up.
Yeah.
Carl lays there quietly, thinking. Well, I think I might try to look downstairs. You want to stay up here and look around?
I guess.
I want to get the other two to start looking, too. The threat of Jenna hangs heavily in the air, and the way we're both obviously avoiding it makes it all the heavier.
What about your ankle?
I flex it around, the twinge a lot less sharp now, though the stiffness feels even worse. I think I'm okay. Let me try it out.
Okay.
Carl holds on to me for a while longer, giving my neck one last nuzzle before letting me go. I sit up and swing my legs over to the side of the bed, pressing my foot to the floor. The twinge that runs through my ankle is minuscule. Standing up, I'm able to put some pressure on it before it starts to hurt too much. The problem is that I can't bend the joint at all, leaving me with an obvious lumbering limp. I think I'm okay.
Sure you don't want to ride on my back down the stairs at least?
I consider it, but I don't really want him and Jenna anywhere near each other, especially after what she might have just heard now. Nah, I'm gonna test it a bit more. I turn my head to look back at Carl. I see Jenna behind him with two knives. Her eyes are glowing in the darkness.
You almost look like an anime.
His brows are raised at me, like he doesn't really think I can do it. I'll call you if I need help, okay? Carl purses his lips.
All right. I put a little weight on it and I put I tripped down the stairs and ponderous. Oh, the trip down the stairs is ponderous, awkward, and painful. They're like,
Ooh, ee,
"Where's?"
ah, ooh, ee, ah, ooh, ee.
Becomes just Looney Tunes.
Yeah, he's just bouncing with every step.
Oh, ow, oh, ow, it's like goes from like the bad foot to the knee to his head and just flips around. It's just so street right. Just thump 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 thump.
Yeah, he gets to the bottom. He's just like both his arms are broken. His legs are broken in multiple places.
Yeah, everything just like kind of looks like a Family Guy kind of thing, where he's just like his whole body's mangled. He just kind of lays
Yeah.
there at the bottom of the stairs, just like his chest, just like he's upside down with his head just like tilted up. It's just
Yeah,
his
when he gets to the
chest is
when he
just
gets to the
pointed down into the floor.
when he gets to the bottom, he's just in the Yamcha pose. The trip down the stairs is ponderous and awkward. I'm probably loud, too, because when I reach the bottom, I find both Raven and Jenna already staring at me. Hey,
Hey.
Jenna doesn't say anything, continuing to watch me. We stare at each other awkwardly for a bit before she finally moves her head to look down at my leg. How's your leg? Oh, it's all right. A bit stiff, though. I grasp at the opportunity to talk about anything other than what we're obviously avoiding. I think I should be able to walk normally. Maybe in a few days. Hopefully, in a few days we'll be out of here so you can do that. Yeah, Jenna is definitely not herself right now. Her eyes are vacant, dull, and it's hard to explain, but they lack the mischievous and compassionate look that I'm used to seeing. Her voice is weird too. It's deeper, more husky.
Well, we'll be out of there by then.
Raven says it with a grin as he leans back in the chair he's sitting in. Yeah, actually, I wanted to talk to you guys about that.
About what?
About how to get out of here. And how do we do that? Well, we. I was thinking that the last time we were able to unlock the door, we had. All we had to do was find that letter. Raven blinks at me.
So, we find a letter?
Or something like that. We just need to find something, I think. We did find something. I look over at Jenna. Huh? I said we did find something. Carl burned it. Oh,
Gaslighting.
well, I don't think Carl burned it. He did. I pause. But there's got to be something else, or maybe whatever's doing this has a way to putting something else here. The others don't say anything. I don't know, but we can't just sit here. Looking around is the least we can do. Where is Carl? Jenna's standing up now, looking at the ceiling. Faintly, I can hear the clopping of Carl's hooves on the soft wood. He's looking around upstairs. Jenna continues to look at the ceiling, her face stony.
Let's start in this room.
Raven stands up and starts walking around the wall, looking up and down the logs, prodding at the spaces in between. Jenna's still Jenna's still looking up at the ceiling, and I worry that she's going to try and go upstairs. I, a person with a screwed up leg that can barely do anything, is totally going to stop her. Totally. Hey, Jenna, can you help me look around in the kitchen? Jenna looks back at me. Huh? My ankle still kind of hurts. It'd be nice to be able to lean on someone if I need to walk far, like to the kitchen. Jenna pauses before moving to my side. She stands there stoically while I wrap an arm around her shoulders. Thanks. Yeah. We amble slowly to the kitchen. Jenna stops in the middle of the room and waits. I guess I'll start with the cabinets. My voice goes up at the end, like I'm asking a question. Jenna doesn't say anything, so I stumble away from her. Again, awkwardly, before finding support on the wooden pantry. I hesitantly start to open some of the cupboards, feeling a lot less into the idea than I was just a few minutes earlier. Jenna stares out the window. So, are you okay? She finally looks back at me, frowning. I'm fine. Why? You're being really distant. Do you need me to stand next to you? No, I mean, you seem like you're not really here mentally. I'm sorry. I open another pantry door to set a set of glass mugs. Is it something to do with Carl? I know that Jen is going through something similar to what Carl is. I just have no idea what's doing it or why. Unlike Carl, though, Jenna's thing isn't helping us. I don't have a problem with Carl. I mean, what you did yesterday. I just have a problem with the way he acts. He could do a lot if he put his mind to it. It takes me a moment to realize that she's talking about what happened before all of this. So you attacked him? What? No, that was something else. I turn around and see something familiar about Jenna. Some life in her eyes. Maybe all I have to do is talk about stuff before this whole warp to the ghost dimension. I mean, he tries. He just has problems. Shouldn't a psychology major know about that? Jenna looks away from me. I guess, but I'm not a therapist. So what? So I don't know. I no, I mean, shouldn't anyone have sympathy? I'd rather have a little sympathy if he. I'd have a little sympathy if he actually actually try and get help. He has, but it's not that easy. Again, I don't feel like I should be explaining this to someone who has 4 years of psychology under her belt. I tried to get help, but I didn't feel better for years. Jenna doesn't say anything. Carl's problem really didn't start until his first year of college. I keep pulling open cupboards, my heart's sinking a little more each time there's nothing inside. I mean, yeah, he had problems before, but it's only getting worse for him. Well, that doesn't matter what I think about Carl right now. We're trying to find a way to get out of here, and screwing around isn't going to help. Jenna says it in such a way that I feel it was supposed to be pointed. There's a little doubt now that she's heard us messing around upstairs. I sigh and reach up to pull open the last cabinet. He's not who you think he is. It's so quiet and deep. I'm not sure if it's Jenna that said it. I turn around, but she's already on the other side of the room, standing next to the opposite set of pantries. Did you say something? She doesn't respond. I stare at her for a few seconds before slowly turning back around. The fur on my neck prickles at the idea of turning back to her. It. Why do these damn ghosts have to be so subtle and cryptic? If that's what it is, of course. It seemed like James had no trouble telling Carl about the whole clue-finding crap. Why couldn't they just tell him, or even Jenna right now, instead of just creeping me out? This kitchen isn't very big, so I run out of things to search through pretty quickly. I skip the area around the window, though, not having forgotten what happened yesterday. Yesterday? I don't even know how to keep track of time in this place. I look back at Jenna, who's still in the same place, staring at the pantry. The thought that maybe I myself could be possessed momentarily passes through my mind. For some reason, I doubt it, even though I'm not sure why. I don't really feel like I'm. I don't really feel like I'm of interest to whoever it is that's doing this. At least not directly. I look around the room, at the ceiling and at the floor. It's a small place, but there are so many nooks and crannies in this place that could be in a million places. Maybe we should assign halves. I pause as I hear a loud clopping coming down from the stairs. Jenna pauses too, her ears perked. What the fuck is that ram doing? Sure enough, the ram suddenly comes swinging around the opening in the stairs. The opening to the stairs. I shake my head vigorously at him, but he ignores me. Jenna stands there stiffly, arms folded tightly. Hey, Carl! Weren't you looking around upstairs? Carl stands there in the doorway looking at me with a grin.
I know where it is.
My eyes widen. Really? Upstairs? He ignores me again, instead walking around me to the end of the room. He halts in front of the wood-burning stove. Carl, what are you doing? Again, he doesn't say anything, instead kneeling to twist the metal handles on the stove door before letting it fall open. Jenna walks closer, but is sure to keep her distance, her arms folded. She has to hold them. They're shaking. It's almost like she's about to do some violence or something. I don't know where this joke is going. Go for it, Raven.
She's just quivering with violence and anticipation.
She's just standing there, menacingly.
She gets a pencil and puts it on the table and says, "Hey, Carl, want to see a magic trick?"
I can make this pencil disappear.
It's magic. Okay.
Raven's like, ooh, I want to see magic.
Julian appears in this place. Well, there he goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, what's going on?
Raven looks around at us, not even bothering to read the room.
Did you find something?
Carl looks into the stove before slapping the top of the metal stove.
Ha! There it is.
What? But how? How did you know it was there, Carl? Jenna's voice is deep and husky again. Her expression is dark, her eyes narrowed at Carl. Carl ignores both of us as he reaches into the stove. His head is pressed up against the side of the stove as he strains to get whatever it is. I'm about to ask what it is again when he suddenly pulls back and punches the stove.
God damn it!
I jump. He suddenly turns around to face us, his eyes briefly resting on Jenna before he turns to me.
Hey, I think you're small enough to get it.
What? What am I getting? Carl. As if he hasn't heard any of us, he grabs me by the arm and pulls me to the stove. Hey!
Don't worry about it.
Carl finally responds to Jenna, though he keeps his grip on me as he gets out of the way and positions me in front of the stove.
He's just getting something I can't quite reach because I'm fat.
He pushes me down to duck in towards the opening and points to the back of the stove towards where the chimney is.
See that? White piece of paper?
I'm barely able to make out the white smudge in the sea of darkness. Yeah.
That's our ticket out of here. It should say Echo Airlines.
He gives me a slight nudge in the back. I
But
normally wouldn't have a problem crawling into an unlit stove, but something about the setting being a haunted cabin makes me nervous. He gives me another nudge, more insistent this time, and I slowly crawl onto the edge of the stove. It's a tight fit, but I am skinny enough to make it. I decide to sit on the ledge of the opening while the rest of my body stretches inside. The smell is smoky and the air is cool. I wonder subconsciously if the chimney might lead up into the outside. I reach towards the chimney, feeling around the rough and metallic surface before making contact with a stiff piece of folded paper. I close my fingers around it and pull, getting just a little resistance before it comes loose. At that moment, something caresses my hand. Rough tipped fingers that almost lovingly run up my wrist and arm. I yelp and jump, banging my head against the roof of the stove. I fall sideways into the ash filled bottom. I'm on the verge of panic when Carl reaches in and pulls me out, banging my head again as I fall into the wooden floor.
What happened? Are you all right?
Something grabbed me. I rub my head with one hand, the other clutching onto the paper. Carl roughly pats my clothes, sending clouds of ash into the air. I cough and sputter, feeling all kinds of grit in my throat.
Might have just been imagining it. Who knows what kind of shit is dangling in that chimney?
Yeah. I frown at Carl. How did you know this was. How did you know where this was? He grins at me.
Same way it happened last time.
So it is paying off. Ah, well. At least we have something giving us some direction in this place. Jenna snorts, but I choose to ignore her. I look at the old yellowed piece of paper in my hands. It's a lot older looking than the photocopied newspaper that had burned up earlier.
So, you think that's what we need to find? So you think that's what we needed to find?
Raven asks excitedly, staring into the paper, at the paper.
It is.
After a few more hacks, I finally manage to start to get my breathing under control. I make my way over towards the candle for better light. Well, I guess I'll read this out. A hand suddenly grabs at my wrist. Confused, I pull it away instinctively. That's when someone grabs up the paper at the same time, shoving me back. Jenna? Her face is locked and determined, grabbing my wrist and pulling at the paper with her other hand. I probably would have given her the paper if she'd asked, but this sudden aggression has me automatically resisting. She grabs at me, swings me around. We both fall against the bench under the window. Jenna's hand smacks against my nose, bringing tears to my eyes. I yelp as she pulls her fingers in, raking lines of fire down my nose with her claws. There's a pounding in my ears, and I distantly register that the drums have started up again. She twists out from under me and pulls away from the bench. When the fuck did she get this strong? I numbly keep my grip on her wrists as she spins, swinging me away from her. I lose my grip and stumble back, stepping on the wrong foot and rebending my ankle the same way I did last time. I yelp again, much more loudly this time as I crumple to the ground. Carl swears and jumps over me at Jenna. Wait! I try to grab him by the hoof, but that's by the hoof that's passing over me, but I miss miserably. As I sit up, I hear an ungodly, bestial snarling, and I look up to see Carl wrestling and kicking and scratching Jenna onto the ground.
That's fucking it.
He pins her there while she writhes under him, trying to scratch at his face.
Stop it, guys!
Raven is still standing off to the side, his paws on his head, pulling at his ears. I crawl over to their writhing bodies, one eye wincing shut as each movement sends a lightning bolt through my leg. I grab at Jenna's hands, forcing them down above her head. Jenna, stop! Jenna suddenly kicks out with one of the legs between kicks one of her legs up between Carl's legs, and he kneels over her.
Oh, fuck!
He crumples over on top of Jenna, lying on her legs he tries to pin her his as he tries to pin his thighs together.
Little cunt!
Carl rears back and punches at her face, landing a glancing blow, but it's enough to snap her face to the side. Stop! I force myself between the two of them, shoving Carl's chest while straddling Jenna's neck. It's an awkward position, and I'm trying to protect her and stop her from retaliating at the same time. Stop it! What the hell are you doing? I say it to both of them as Carl tries to reach around me for the paper in Jenna's hands. Jenna snarls up at me, but it's softer this time. Her struggles die down a little, and after holding my gaze for about 10 seconds, she looks away. I notice a little bit of blood collecting on the front of her lips. Seeing the paper held loosely in her hand, I quickly reach out and snatch it back in case she tries to attack again. She doesn't, instead just laying there with her hands above her head, staring at the ceiling. I slowly push off of the fox, taking Carl with me as I do. He's not fighting anymore either. Instead, taking the paper from me and holding it firmly in his hands while he glares at Jenna. Raven, still with his fingers twisted around his ears, looks over at me.
Yeah?
Take Jenna upstairs. Take a nap or something. I think we need to be kept separate. Raven's easily able to coax Jenna up off the floor, and they head upstairs. Jenna looking down at the floor all the while. I skid over to Carl, holding my breath as each drag sends another spasm through my leg. Only now am I really feeling the pain in my ankle. Carl is busy inspecting the note, as if he's worried it's damaged.
She was gonna try to fucking burn it.
He holds it up to the candle lights.
Like, that would be getting back at me for earlier. She still thinks I burnt that fucking paper.
How do you know that?
Wish she was looking at the candle right before she came at you. And she's just the kind of person that would do that.
He looks at my ankle.
Fuck up your ankle again?
Yeah.
God, what a stupid bitch.
Carl. He looks up at me.
What?
I've never heard you talk like that before. Carl shrugs, unfolding the paper.
Well, I've never been attacked like that before.
I look closely at his face. It's still Jenna. You hit her pretty hard.
She kicked me in the nuts.
Well, yeah, but I'm just... Carl doesn't seem very interested at all in what I'm trying to say. She's not herself either. I think the same thing's happening to her.
Same thing?
Like what's happening to you. I know Jenna had ancestors in Echo at the very beginning. What if she was being affected by an ancestor just like Carl is? But for some reason, deep down, I feel very uneasy about bringing up John in front of this Carl. Even if they were lovers, something's clearly wrong now. Carl shrugs.
She's always been kind of a bitch.
I swallow down whatever I'm about to say next.
Anyway, I'm gonna read this so we can move the fuck on, alright?
Okay. I'm confused and worried. Did I make the wrong decision in telling Carl what to do last night? This isn't like him at all. Ram holds up the letter, clearing his throat.
My dearest John, I've been hearing terrible things lately. They say that you've been accusing me of the most egregious monstrosities. I dare not believe them. In fact, I will not until I hear your words for myself. There must be some misunderstanding. Has one of my many political enemies pitted you against me? Are they using the missing native boys as a weapon against my campaign? I would not think that to be below them. But what concerns me most is you. Please visit me at my mansion. We must speak on this. I very much look forward to your company and believe that we can soon set this straight. Yours forever, James.
I look up at Carl. He looks back at me. So, what do you think that means? Carl shrugs.
John clearly did something terrible to James, right?
Well, maybe, but what? It sounds like he tried to frame him or something. I remember the newspaper clipping that had somehow gone up in flames. Hey, that newspaper article that burned up said something about the Meseta boy, about a Meseta kid that went missing.
So John tried to pin missing native boys on James? Oh, that's not a question. So
M-
John tried to pin missing native boys on James.
Maybe, but we still don't know if John was doing it anyways. James doesn't seem to know either. I wonder if maybe if the James inside of Carl has any idea. I wonder if maybe the James inside of Carl has any idea of what's going on right now. If he does, he's not saying anything. I look at the Ram who's in the middle of rereading the letter. You okay?
I'm fine.
Are your balls okay? Carl shrugs again.
They're fine too. Want to feel them?
Not right now.
Maybe later.
I think about making a joke about making them feel better, but that doesn't really feel appropriate right now.
They need a massage.
Oh yeah. Being touched, that's exactly what they need after being kicked.
More stimulation. That's just great.
Yeah, you gotta massage them by squeezing them, right?
Yeah. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. I'm more concerned about Jenna. I think she's becoming more dangerous the longer we're here.
Yeah. It seemed that at this point, Jenna isn't really Jenna anymore.
We need to have a talk with her about resisting John.
Yeah? I mean, James is helping you, right?
He's helping me, yeah, but John's not helping her at all.
I look in the direction of the door as a loud click emanates from it. Carl's long ears perk as he follows my gaze. We both stare at it for a few seconds. Is it unlocked? Carl gets to his feet and strides confidently over to the door. Careful, I say, a little apprehensive that something might open it from the other side. Carl doesn't say anything as he stands in front of the door. Reaching out, he rests the hand on the handle, then gives it a slight push. It shifts open a few inches. Carl looks back at me.
Get the others.
We all stand around the door. Carl to my right, Raven to my left. Raven and I making sure there's maximum distance between Jenna and Carl. The door has shifted open a few inches, and the vertical black void it reveals is a little ominous.
So we just go through? Isn't that what we did last time?
Yeah. I feel like the real question is if we really want to go through the door in the first place. Is it just going to lead to another terrible place where terrible things happen? I feel a void similar to the one I'm looking at open up in my chest. The thought of being trapped in a loop, going through door after door that leads to nothing but horror. Already this place was having an effect on Jenna. That seems to be getting worse with each passing hour. How much longer can she keep it together? What did the letter say? I tense up. Anything she does now is putting me on edge, like I'm just waiting for her to lash out again. My hand drifts conspiratorially to my pocket where the folded up letter is. I glance to my right at Carl, but he's got his eyes on the door. A few things? Just more history stuff. About what? I decide at the moment that I have to lie. We need to keep Jenna, or John, calm if we want to get through this. I have a feeling that Jenna, John, wouldn't want to hear about James revealing what I assume are secrets. I didn't read anything about John trying to sabotage James in my research, but maybe that's what James was trying to tell us. So I shrugged my shoulders, moving my hand away from my pocket. Stuff about the mine, how there wasn't enough of it to sustain the town. I'm worried Jenna might challenge my lie for whatever reason. She doesn't say anything though, and Carl just keeps staring straight ahead. Raven suddenly claps his hands together, making me jump.
So, should we open it?
Raven reaches out. Wait! The husky pauses and looks back at me, expectantly. His black ears tipped forward. Should we do this? I mean, it's probably just going to lead to another place where we have to find another thing.
Yeah?
So maybe we shouldn't keep going? I stumble over my words, trying to piece together my feelings and put them into sentences as I go. I just think that they're not really on our side, you know? I make an effort not to look at Jenna. So if they're not, why are they doing what they want? Why are they doing what they want to us? So if they are not, why are we doing what they want us to do? I realize that I'm shaking now and I make an effort to stop, an effort to make my hands still.
What else should we do?
Raven's tone isn't accusatory, but it's genuinely curious. I don't have a very good answer. Well, maybe we can find a way back somehow? Maybe we're still in Carl's house right now. Carl's house. That place seems like it's thousands of miles and years away at this point. Maybe we can wake ourselves up somehow. Raven doesn't respond, and neither does anyone else. I realize how stupid I must sound. Sorry. I just feel like we're taking things too fast right now. Carl clears his throat.
Trust me, we're going somewhere.
The ram leaves it at that, and I'm left to wonder if James knows exactly where we're going. If he does, why doesn't Carl tell us now? How in control is he? It's something that I would have to bring up later, since I'm not going to be doing that in front of Jenna. You can stay here if you want, Otter. It takes me a second to realize she's talking to me. Is she really that far gone? I just hope that if we reach the end of this, we can get her back somehow.
You would like that, wouldn't you?
I cough, clearing my throat as I realize another fight could be about to start up. No, I'll go. I just wanted to think about it for a second. Have you thought about it then? Um, yeah. I look at Carl, but he's still staring stoically at the door. Well, if that's all, then let's go. Jenna steps forward to grab the door handle, and I bite my tongue to keep from saying we should wait again. Door swings open to reveal blackness, just like the last time. Unlike the last time, though, there's a spot of flickering light in the distance. The fire. Everything's quiet right now, no drum beat. But the darkness is unnatural. It's inky and thick, like it's alive. I get the unnerving feeling that it's trying to eat the light from the fire. Maybe towards the fire. Jenna suddenly steps forward and, just like that, is swallowed up by the darkness. Jenna, wait! She ignores me. Carl gives his shoulders another shrug.
That's all we can see, so I assume that's the right direction to go.
I see her form pass in front of the firelights, a few times. Then she's gone.
All right, here we go.
Despite his nervousness, Raven still sounds cheerful about stepping into oblivion.
Lean on me.
I'm suddenly yanked sideways to lean against the ram's sturdy shoulder. Then we're off, Carl tugging me into the darkness.
Stay close.
Yeah, we're immersed in blackness. Not only do things go dark visually, but the change is physical too. I don't know if it's all in my head, but I feel heavier, like the darkness is pushing down on my shoulders. It's colder too, to the point where I can feel the heat radiating off of Carl's body when I brush up against him.
Try to move faster.
Okay. Despite my best attempts, the going is slow, and not just because of my injured, probably broken ankle. The ground is uneven and rocky. Like we're outside walking in the desert, which I realize is exactly what we're doing when we walk straight into what feels like sagebrush. Carl thrashes around with the hand not holding on to me, and we're able to sort of stumble around it. Where the hell are we? I mutter as I stub my toe painfully on a rock.
Outside?
Yeah, but where outside?
The desert?
So, do you think that we're still an echo? Carl's quiet for a moment.
No, we're on the moon.
I wonder if maybe all the others, TJ, Leo, and Flynn, are out here too, in the darkness. I want to call out, but I'm too nervous that that's going to attract something to us. I still remember the black figure dancing around the fire we're walking towards at this very moment. We're close enough now that I'm starting to be able to make out Carl in the darkness. I look back to the house and see how far we've gone. All that I can make out is that there are two rectangles of light. One on the front, one on the door we came out of, and one for the kitchen window. In the latter, a dark figure stands framed by the faint light outside. I squint, not really sure what I'm seeing. Then it moves, disappearing from the window. I stop walking and Carl stops with me, looking back over his shoulder.
What?
I don't. Did one of the others go back? The black figure appears again, this time in the doorway of the house. I don't even have time to react react to that before it steps forward and the door swings shut with a distant snap. Oppressive blackness takes its place. I grab onto Carl more tightly.
What the hell?
My mind flashes back to the black thing I'd seen crawling out of the wardrobe. Come on! I nudge into Carl's side, trying to get him to hurry along while resisting the urge to try and run on my twisted ankle. I'm realizing that it might come to that. Raven! Jenna! I call out into the darkness ahead of us, wanting to warn them. Over our ragged breathing, though, there's a dead silence all around us, except for a drum beat. Either they can't hear us, or they can't respond. Carl's gripping onto me with both his hands, practically hauling me off my feet as he pulls me along. Suddenly he stops, before almost growling at me.
Jesus Christ, get on my back!
He lets me go and crouches down in front of me. Even with everything going on, I'm a bit hurt by his tone. Like I'm the main problem right now. I'm there before he even finishes his sentence, and then soon my face is bouncing off his hard skull as he starts sprinting towards the fire.
Bum, 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 bum.
Ah, ooh, ee, ah, ooh, ee, yeah, ah, ooh, ee.
It was like
Whether
Men in Tights with like Sheriff of Rottingham under the horse. Ooh, ee,
Yeah.
ow, ow, ee, ooh.
Any idea how much longer this segment has to go?
It's got a long while to go. It's like the longest time.
Okay, we should save here then.
I think this part, like, they're gonna get to the fire and then it's going to like change. So I think we could.
Okay, let's get to the fire first.
Okay.
Whether it's in my head or not, I swear I can hear a slithering sound behind me, like a snake sliding over dry leaves. I shiver, not wanting to look back, but I do anyway, trying to peer into the darkness. Of course I can't see anything, but I swear something flashes in front of the lone rectangle of light coming from the cabin's kitchen window. The rustling sounds get louder, and now I can't pretend that I'm imagining it. It casts a picture into my mind. That black shadow creature contorting and bending through the sagebrush that Carl was having so much trouble moving through. I hold on to one of his horns and lean towards his ear. Carl, it's getting close, and then my stomach lurches as it feels like the floor just suddenly drops away. Next thing I know, my nose smacks hard into the back of Carl's head before I flip over, landing on my back in what feels like a sea of sharp rocks. I lay there for a second, dazed, staring at the black ocean above me, wondering if any of this is real. Am I still dreaming? Maybe I'll just wake up in my dorm, probably late to my legal and ethics issues and journalism class.
Fuck! Get up!
A muffled voice breaks through my haze of confusion and pain. Then I'm being yanked back up as Carl pulls me to my feet and forcibly shoves me onto his back.
Get up!
Trying. I can barely mumble through my numb mouth, which feels like it's full of pennies. I can see I'm making dark stains on the back of Carl's shirt. Feels like my face is caved in. I wonder if my nose is broken. But the fear of this pursuit is returning, and I quickly clutch onto Carl's horns before he resumes his sprint. He finally comes to a stumbling halt in front of the massive bonfire, which had looked so small from the cabin. We both stare up at it, the heat almost unbearable.
Uh,
The whisper behind me reaches a crescendo, the hissing just over my shoulder.
shit.
What are we supposed to do? My voice raises in pitch as I look back behind us, the black shape now discernible in the firelight as it slithers around the rocks and sagebrush. It's like a person imitating a snake. I grip on the Carl as he turns to face it, then takes a step back, then another.
I don't fucking know.
I cling to the ram, and I feel him trembling underneath me. As the creature reaches the edge of the circle of firelight, Carl turns and starts running past the fire. And then my muscles seize up, my jaw clenches, my eyes roll back, and I feel myself falling backwards. And that is where we will need to save for right now.
Okay.
All right.
Here we are.
Okay.